Stop whatever else you're doing and pay attention, because what I'm about to tell you will change how you see women forever. They don't always play straight lines. One day she's leaning into you like you're the only man alive. The next, she's pulling back like you don't even exist. She says she wants a real man, but when you finally show up with clarity and strength, she shuts down. Confusing, right? Here's the brutal truth most men never learn. The moment she wants you the most is often the exact moment she pushes you away the hardest. And if you misread it, you'll overchase, demand answers, or walk off in frustration, handing her all the power while you lose yourself. This push isn't always rejection. Many women today are hyper-independent, guarded and conditioned not to trust. When real feelings hit, it threatens their control. That fear shows up as distance, attitude, or flat-out rejection. Most men crumble in that moment, becoming needy and reactive, draining attraction with every move. But not you. In this video, you'll learn the truth behind this behavior and how to respond like a man of power, calm, confident, unshaken, and by the end, you'll know how to flip her distance into desire and her rejection into respect. Let's begin. Number 1. Her fear of losing control. When a woman begins to feel something real for a man, it triggers a reaction she doesn't expect, and most men never see it coming. Instead of leaning into those emotions, she starts to panic, because those feelings threaten the control she's worked so hard to keep over her own life. For her, falling in love doesn't feel safe. It feels like losing balance. You have to understand that many modern women are raised in a world that teaches them vulnerability equals danger. They've been lied to, betrayed, ghosted, or abandoned. They've built emotional walls to survive. So when a man slips past those defenses, it doesn't feel exciting at first. It feels risky, like she's surrendering control of her heart to someone who could hurt her. This is why closeness often looks like distance. The stronger her attraction grows, the more she might pull back. Her emotions overpower her logic. She catches herself thinking about you, craving your presence, imagining needing you, and that loss of control terrifies her. So instead of leaning in, she withdraws. Instead of confessing what she feels, she creates space. She may act cold, ignore your texts, or pretend she doesn't care. And here's where most men destroy everything. They misinterpret her withdrawal as disinterest and start chasing harder, calling more, texting longer, demanding answers, begging for validation. Every one of those moves confirms her fear that emotions equal weakness and that closeness means losing her power. Her attraction collapses because now she sees you as reactive, not centered. The truth is, this isn't rejection, it's self-preservation. She's not pushing you away because you bore her. She's pushing you away because the depth of her feelings scares her. What she's really saying in silence or in excuses like, "I'm busy," or "I need time," is this: "I feel too much right now, and I don't know what to do with it." The man who understands this doesn't panic. He doesn't chase. He doesn't collapse into neediness. He stays grounded, calm, unshaken. He pulls back slightly, giving her space to wrestle with her emotions. And when she sees that he's not falling apart, not begging, not losing himself over her distance, that's when her fear begins to fade. That's when she comes back stronger, because you gave her the rarest form of safety, the freedom to feel deeply without feeling trapped. Number 2, her test of your frame. When a woman suddenly pulls back right after showing you interest, it's not always about fear or confusion. Sometimes it's intentional. It's her way of seeing what kind of man she's dealing with. These moments aren't about cruelty or manipulation, they're instinct. A woman wants to know, can you handle pressure? Do you stay centered when things get uncertain? Or do you collapse, get emotional, and beg for reassurance? Those are the silent questions she's asking when she tests you, and how you respond determines how she'll see you moving forward. Modern dating is full of distractions and endless options. Women learn quickly that weak men reveal themselves under stress. Their solution? Filtering with tests. It shows up in subtle ways. She slows her replies. She cancels a date last minute. She acts indifferent even though she was warm the day before. Most men panic and think it means she's done with them. In reality, she's creating friction to see if you can stay calm or if you'll crumble. Here's the trap. Most men fail because they get reactive. They send long emotional texts. They demand answers. They push for clarity. They beg to be seen. And in that instant, they prove her suspicion right, that he's controlled by her mood, not in control of his own. Attraction dies because no woman will trust her emotions to a man who can't lead himself. But here's where you flip the script. If you stay calm, collected and detached from the outcome, she notices. If she sees that her coldness doesn't shake you, that you're not chasing after her validation, something shifts. What she feels isn't just attraction, it's respect. Respect leads to trust, and trust builds desire. So don't argue, don't prove yourself, don't disappear to punish her. Instead, detach with grace. If she pulls back, you don't fall apart. You keep moving. You show her you're independent, solid, unbothered. That's not manipulation, that's power. And it's that quiet strength that makes her realize you're not like the rest, because she can't shake you. Number 3, her test of whether you'll chase. There's a point in almost every new connection where a woman suddenly steps back, not because her feelings are gone, but because she wants to see what you'll do when the ground shifts. This is the moment where many men lose everything without realizing it. When emotions start to build, she wonders if you're truly centered or if you're just another man who will fold under pressure. But instead of asking you directly, she creates space. That silence, that distance, isn't just random. It's her way of testing whether you'll lead or whether you'll chase. If she senses even the smallest pullback and you instantly react, blowing up her phone, asking if something's wrong, begging for time together, she learns 2 things. 1, that you're already hooked on her validation. 2, that she now controls the rhythm of the connection. That may give her a temporary ego boost, but in the long run, it kills attraction. Because the moment you start chasing, you shift from being the calm, mysterious man she admired to a man who's now reacting to her energy instead of holding his own. The danger is subtle. You think you're showing effort. She feels you've lost balance. That difference is everything. This doesn't mean you should play childish games or ignore her. It means knowing the line between leading and chasing. Leading is steady, intentional, and confident. Chasing is frantic, insecure, and built on fear of losing her, and she can feel that difference without you saying a word. Women who are used to attention will often create this space just to see who cracks. And most men do. But the man who doesn't, he lets her wonder, he lets her feel the silence, he keeps living without disruption. That's when the power flips. Now she's the one questioning herself, wondering if she misread you, feeling the absence of your energy. Because here's the truth. When you chase, you crown her the prize. When you remain composed, you remind her that you are the prize too. And that reminder is what draws her closer, not out of manipulation, but because true respect and attraction are born when a man shows he cannot be shaken. Number 4, her fear of being truly seen. There's a moment in almost every connection where a woman feels like you're starting to see past her surface, not just her charm, not just her confidence, but the raw part she usually hides. And strangely, that's when some women begin to retreat. It sounds backward, but it's real. The closer you get, the more exposed she feels, and that exposure terrifies her. Because beneath the polished image, most women carry scars, failed relationships, betrayals, moments where they were told they were too much, too emotional, or never enough. Those wounds don't just vanish, they form armor. So when a man begins to cut through that armor, it's not always excitement she feels, it's panic. Panic that if you see the unfiltered version of her, the flaws, the insecurities, the messy emotions, you'll decide she isn't worth it. That fear rarely comes out in words. It shows up in sudden distance, in cold replies, in confusing silence. And here's where most men fail. They take a retreat as rejection and rush to prove themselves. They say things like, "You can trust me," or "I'd never hurt you." But words, no matter how sincere, don't erase years of disappointment. They fall flat because they're just sound. A woman who's been wounded doesn't trust promises. She trusts presence. She notices your energy more than your reassurance. If your tone shifts, if you grow anxious, if you beg for closeness, you confirm her deepest suspicion. That intimacy will destabilize everything. The man who wins this moment doesn't try to fix her. He doesn't interrogate or force her walls down. He simply stays steady, unmoved by her pushback, secure in who he is. That emotional gravity creates the safety she's been searching for. Slowly, she realizes she doesn't have to keep performing, pretending, or hiding. She can be raw, unfiltered, even chaotic, and you won't run. That's the paradox. The less you pressure her, the more she opens. The more grounded you remain, the more her fear fades. Until eventually, she sees what no one else gave her. The freedom to be herself without losing you in the process. That's not just attraction, that's trust. And trust is what breaks her walls down for good. Number 5, she needs proof. You're not like the rest. When a woman pulls back even though she clearly wants you, one of the biggest unspoken reasons is this. She needs to know if you're truly different from the men who let her down. This isn't always a game. It's not about drama. It's a defense mechanism built from years of disappointment. Think about it. Many women have dealt with men who came on strong at the start, promising loyalty, talking about the future, saying all the right things, only to cheat, ghost, or switch up the second emotions got real. Those experiences teach her one thing: words mean nothing without action. So now, when she feels attraction building, she becomes cautious. On the outside, she may smile, but on the inside, she's asking, will you stay consistent when things aren't easy? Will you hold steady when she's unsure? Or will you turn into the same man who ran the moment she lowered her guard? That doubt doesn't show up as a speech. It shows up in subtle distance. Plans cancelled last minute. Texts left unanswered for hours. Affection that suddenly cools down. She's not punishing you. She's watching. She wants to see how you respond when the connection isn't smooth. Here's the trap most men fall into. They get offended. They even have to prove anything. They think, why isn't my word enough? So they double down on promises, over-explain, or worse, become emotional when she withdraws. But to her, that only confirms what she already fears, that you'll crumble under pressure just like the rest. Being different isn't about being perfect. It's about being unshaken. When she pulls back, you don't guilt trip, you don't panic, you don't beg. You stay steady. You show interest without neediness, care without chasing. You let her see that your character doesn't shift just because her emotions do. That's what proves you're not like the others. And when she sees that, when she realizes you won't fold at the first sign of tension. That's when her walls start to crack. Not because you convinced her with words, but because you proved yourself with presence. You showed her that this time she's dealing with a man who's built for more than temporary games. He's built for the long game. Number 6. She's battling her own past. Sometimes when a woman starts to fall for you, her pullback has nothing to do with you at all. It's about the ghost she carries from before you ever showed up. That sudden coldness, the shift into distance, the way she becomes emotionally unavailable right when things get serious. It isn't always rejection. More often, it's her scars speaking louder than her heart. She's not pushing you away because she doesn't want you. She's pushing away the fear of reliving pain she swore she'd never go through again. And if you take that personally, you miss the bigger picture. A woman who's been hurt doesn't open her heart easily. You can show consistency, respect, and genuine care. But if her past taught her that even good guys eventually change, she'll struggle to trust what's real in front of her. That inner war reveals itself in confusing ways. One day she calls you her peace. The next, she avoids you like you've done something wrong. It's not about the present moment. It's the trauma of betrayal replaying in her mind. Most men fail here. They react to her distance with panic, asking what's wrong, overcompensating with affection, or trying to fix her emotions. But when you do that, you're not healing her wounds, you're proving her fear. That intimacy equals instability. What she truly needs is consistency, not pressure, not reassurance on demand, and not emotional bargaining. She needs a man whose frame doesn't bend when her emotions get stormy. You're not responsible for her past, but you are responsible for holding your ground in the present. When she pulls back, don't follow her into the spiral. Don't demand answers. Don't try to force closeness. Instead, stay calm. Stay steady. Show her by your actions that you're not here to control her, but you're also not here to lose yourself. And when she sees that, when she realizes you're not reacting like the men who hurt her, something shifts. She begins to trust. She begins to respect. She begins to open. Because the man who wins her heart isn't the one who chases her into the storm. It's the one who stands tall, unshaken, and becomes the calm she can always return to when her past stops screaming and her present feels safe again. When a woman pulls back, even when she feels something for you, it isn't always rejection. More often, it's fear, past scars, or a silent way of measuring your strength. Most men collapse in these moments, chasing, over-explaining, or crumbling under pressure. And with every desperate move, they lose the very respect they're trying to protect. But the man who remains steady when she retreats, the one who doesn't beg, doesn't panic, doesn't lose himself, that's the man she learns to trust. That's the man she eventually chooses. This isn't about outsmarting her or playing games. It's about being a leader. It's about awareness, presence, and control of yourself. You don't force her to feel safe. You embody the stability that makes safety real. So let her pull back, let her test, let her wonder. Your power isn't in chasing her down, it's in showing her that you cannot be shaken. Because when she sees that her distance can't break your frame, she feels the one thing she's been searching for all along, the security to surrender to the connection instead of fighting against it. If this message hit home, don't forget to like the video, share it with someone who needs it, drop a comment with your thoughts, and subscribe for more powerful insights every week.